let's talk about pelvic floor exercise devices. What are the pros and cons versus something like MUTU? So by devices, I'm talking about something that you insert vaginally, and usually it's used alongside an app on your smartphone, brands like Pelvic or LV. And what the app does is it kind of gives you feedback on your phone via a sort of gamified app as to how well or not you're contracting and engaging your pelvic floor muscles. Now, devices that need to be inserted can work great for some women, and the gamification of the app element makes it engaging and quite fun and competitive for some. And we do see some proven results in improved pelvic floor muscle strength sometimes, but there are limitations, and I just want to talk you through a couple of those. Now, first of all, some people will not want to use an internal device. There are a number of reasons that somebody may not be comfortable or willing to use an inserted device. Sexual trauma, religious or cultural beliefs, conditions like vaginismus, all sorts of sexual health or trauma-based circumstances mean that these really are not for everyone. Another factor is that gamified apps require you to have, obviously, data on your device and regular version updates. You'll know from the apps on your phone, they often need to be updated. This is a question around equality of access and accessibility, sometimes known as digital poverty. It means that the confidence to use digital tools, as well as access to smartphones or devices, can deny access to many for this. Now, of course, MUTU is digital. MUTU is a web app. So it's a web app as opposed to a native app. A web app is a website where you access with a name and password. It's secure, your information is safe. A native app, on the other hand, is an app that you might buy from the Apple or Android app store and sits on your phone. Now, native apps, of course, require frequent updates and often need you to have the latest operating systems or quite an up-to-date device. Otherwise, your phone runs out of data or storage. So a web app like MUTU sits on your phone, just like your other apps. It logs you right in. You simply need an internet connection to stream. It's one of the factors that was important to NHS digital approval for the NHS apps library, actually. Now, of course, they tend to be quite expensive. So a few issues around access and equality. Exercising your pelvic floor muscles with a device will never actually address the root cause of many of your symptoms. So there are physiological reasons why isolating the pelvic floor muscles passively, i.e. the person is not so consciously contracting and releasing, the device is helping them with that, may not be the most long-term effective solution. Pelvic floor control, along with many other core and pelvic floor issues such as pelvic organ prolapse, painful sex, diastasis recti, lower back pain, these are whole body issues. And in the same way that we can't spot lose body fat, for example, we can't and shouldn't always fix muscles by exercising them and working them purely in isolation, because they're part of an integrated system. The entire core muscle system, including the diaphragm, abdominals, glutes, multifidus, that's the small muscles of the spine, all this is working together for optimal function, and alignment and posture play a huge role. The connection of mind to muscle. Think about, for example, being audibly cued to engage your core or stand up straight. This needs to be learned or relearned, and this is necessary for core and pelvic floor function to be re-established as an unconscious stabilizing force. None of this happens when you insert a device into your vagina and watch the muscles working on an app. So are internal devices or apps bad? This is really not to say that these devices are bad or have no place in treatment, because they really do. And they can help with establishing a connection when there is limited or no sensation or contraction. And some people just like using an app for things. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not the whole picture. And there are many circumstances where they might be unsuitable or inappropriate. For example, if you read the reviews of a device like Pelvic or LV, users love feedback, they like to see progress, they like the gamification of the process, and actually use phrases like, "it takes my mind off doing the exercises." They like reminders, they like beating their last score. This is all cool. And if it's making you do your pelvic floor exercises, it's all good. But just bear in mind that you're not necessarily addressing the physiological reasons for the lack of muscle function in the first place. I hope that helps.